Hello everyone, Clayton here at eTrailer.com, and today I have a 2007 Starcraft Homestead we're going to be taking a look at, and I'll show you how to install the MORryde sliding cargo tray. Our sliding cargo tray is going to be awesome. It's going to allow us to access any items we might have in the middle of our storage area. All we have to do is pull up on this lever, and then we can simply pull out our tray. And it pulls 60% of the full length out. And it can hold up to 800 pounds, so we're going to be able to load this thing down and really get max use out of storing all of our items. And when we're ready to push our items back in, we just simply push up, lift off the lock, and push it into place, and it'll lock back in really secure, and it doesn't hardly move at all. So this thing's awesome. We'll be able to get to the middle of our RV without having to crawl through it. I have it placed in about the same spot. If we pull out on our slider, you can see just how easy it is to get to our toolkit. We don't have to crawl through the camper anymore, and all of our things that we need are going to be right there. I'll go ahead and get some measurements for you just to help you decide if this will work on your camper or not. First, we'll get the length measurement. So we want to go from one side of our tray to the other. Now this is going to be the measurement of the actual usable length. We're going to be looking right at 87.5 inches long. And then the width of our cargo tray is going to be 25 3/4. And then the depth of our cargo tray is going to be 3 3/4. So that's going to give us a nice high edge to keep all of our items on the tray. Another nice feature about our tray is it does have a carpet liner on the bottom. So if you have anything you don't want to get scratched up, you can feel safe putting it in the tray. Our cargo carrier is constructed out of a heavy-duty steel, so it's going to hold any of our items and be very strong over time. It also has a nice gray powder coat finish, and that's going to help resist rust and corrosion over time if we ever forget to close our doors or if the latches get left open or anything like that. This is going to offer us a 800-pound weight capacity. It does have to be evenly distributed between side to side. That way it's not pulling harder on one side than the other. And one nice feature about our cargo tray is that the sliders actually have ball bearings. That way it'll stay nice and lubricated, and our drawer is going to slide like this for a long time. We don't have to give a whole lot of effort to move this heavy drawer. Another feature I really like about our MORryde is that it has a sprung handle with a nice nylon coating. So it feels good to the touch, and it always springs back down. That way when we close it, it stays locked, and we can't just pull the tray out. Another cool feature of our tray is that it slides out both ways. So as you can see, we're on the other side of our camper. You can lift up on that lever and pull our tray out over here. So that's going to be really nice because if there's anything on either end, we can just access it from either side or whichever side's handy. And something you want to keep in mind when loading your cargo is where your plumbing comes down into the basement area. As you can see, our piping is right here. It runs all the way across the camper. So whenever you're loading it, you want to put any of the taller items on the left side of your tray, just to keep it clear of that plumbing. And in terms of installation, getting our tray into our camper really isn't that bad. It is kind of heavy, so you are going to need a friend or two to help you lift up the sliding tray into the camper. And as far as actually mounting it to the camper, it's pretty simple. We used 4 2-inch wood screws. Now speaking of installation, I'll show you how easy it is to get this installed on your camper. Now when you're selecting your cargo tray, there is a few different options. Our camper has a straight through style basement, so we can get one that slides out both sides. But if your openings don't line up on either side, you can always get one that slides out to one side. And now again, this is going to be nice because we're not going to have to crawl through to get everything on the other side. And another important thing is you want to measure the openings and the sides to make sure whatever tray you select is going to fit nicely in your camper. When we're ready to slide in our MORryde, we do want to put a couple 2x4s here on the edge just to protect this gasket when we're sliding our MORryde in. Now once we get it slid in, we want to take some measurements around the outside of our opening here and around the side here and try to get it as close to center as possible. In this case, we moved ours forward because there's a panel back here we have to access when we're going to winterize our camper. As you can see, we did put ours a little bit closer to the front. As I mentioned, you want to measure from the edge of this base to the edge of your door on both sides just to get this as center as possible. And before we run any screws or anything to actually mount it, we want to crawl underneath and make sure we're not going to hit any lines, electrical things, or any tanks. We do have a couple different options for mounting our MORryde. I'm going to use a 2-inch wood screw and just run it down through this hole and this hole with a flat washer. And then that flat washer is just going to help suck this down to the floor whenever we're unloading things on the other side of our MORryde. There are a couple holes as you follow up the outside just to help secure our MORryde down. It will be the exact same on our other side. We are going to be using this hole with a flat washer. With that one mounted, we can move on to our next hole. And you do want to make sure that your wood or your flooring is wood before we start. We're just going to add 4 bolts on each side just like this. So we want to repeat this same process with the same pattern over on the other side. With all of our cargo loaded up, we're now ready to hit the road. That's going to do it for our look at and the installation of the MORryde sliding cargo tray on our 2007 Homestead Starcraft.